Knesset member Simcha Rothman, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
The religious Zionism party. In your party, you had the internal elections. You came second in the elections. That's third on the list. So first of all, if you're part of the next government, what will be your personal demands? What are your hopes?
So, of course, I want any positions that will be able to fix what needs to be fixed in the justice system. It's either justice minister or other roles that will be able to do exactly that. I think we did tremendous work in this past 4 years to reform the justice system, to overhaul it because it needed it, and we have to continue to change it. We have to split the roles of the Attorney General. We have to make sure that the prosecution works with oversight bodies that actually knows what he's doing and has the capability to make demands, because today there is no oversight for the prosecution. And of course, we need to appoint judges. This is extremely important. In Israel Supreme Court, we will have in the next Knesset, we will have about 8 or 9 vacancies to fill of Supreme Court justices, and the next Attorney General and the next Chief Prosecutor. We have a lot to do, and I hope I'll be in a position that we'll be able to do it.
So you hope to be the next Justice Minister, but how do you react or respond to those who are hearing what you're saying now, and even our viewers abroad hear the justice reform, remember what Israel experienced as a society before October 7th about this reform, and say, we don't want to see a replay of what we experienced back then?
There is no need for a replay. Actually, what happened is that we passed most of the reform that was introduced in the beginning of this government. We passed it without demonstrations on the street. The demonstrations were not against judicial reform. Demonstrations were against the government. The same people who said we are hurting Israeli democracy are the same people who shouted afterwards that we want to kill all the hostages. We know how big of a lie was it, because we know that no one even believed that all the hostages will return as they did. And then they blame this government for everything. It has nothing to do with reality, and the demonstrations were anti-government, were not anti-judicial reform.
But how do you prevent
Most of the demonstrators did not even know what judicial reform is all about.
But how do you prevent it?
I think the way we moved, we passed legislation is in a steady pace, no rush. We are not thieves. We are getting if we win these elections, and we should win these elections, the public gave its trust to us, and we need to work step by step, legislation by legislation, to make sure that Israel is a democracy, a functioning democracy. It's not a functioning democracy when 9 people or 11 people make all the decisions. And people who support it do not really support rule of law. They're just against the public choice of the government because they lost in the elections.
Now, one thing that we're hearing throughout the past few months even is that even if the next government will be a right-wing government, it needs to be bigger. It needs to include more parties, more representation of parts of Israeli society. Do you agree with that?
So I think that we just finished this Knesset with 68 members of Knesset represented in some way in the coalition. 68 is quite a big number. And just in comparison, the government that was before us, they called themselves unity government or change government, they had 60. Not even 61. Bennett and Lapid, they had 60. We had 68. So I think it's good to enjoy wide support. It's good after you make sure that the government is around the values and the ideology. No to a Palestinian state. Yes to judicial reform. Yes to a stronger Israel. Yes to make sure that the economy is working and functioning. That we work to make sure that the ultra-Orthodox are part of Israeli society. After we make sure that these values are the essence of the coalition, everyone who wants to join is more than welcome. We were always offering other parties to join the coalition. They did not want, because they are busy with saying, oh, we don't want this, we don't want him, we don't want Rak Lo Bibi. They don't want to cooperate with anyone who is not like them. This was never the right-wing ideology to boycott other parties.
So really, last but not least, as we enter these days of elections, there is a big fear a fear of what will happen to our dialogue, a fear of a rift. How can we survive these days together?
So my personal choice is try to see the ways that I'm speaking about rivals in the political sphere. I try to make sure that my criticism of the other player in the political game is about his ideology and not about his personality or about it. I think that's a personal commitment for me, and if I'm wrong with this, I will always be happy to apologize, but I usually try not to be wrong because I think it's extremely important. But also, I think that anyone who bases their ideology on the question who they boycott, who they do not sit with, I think this is a very good hint not to vote to those people who really enjoy from this rift, who really benefit from this rift. Be yourself, talk about what is your ideology, what are the policies that you want to push forward, and not try to say, I will never sit with. If your campaign is, I will never sit with, something wrong with you.
No more boycotts. Knesset member Simcha Rothman, thank you very much.
Thank you.